Hello, I'm Andrew, and today I'm going to teach you how to fight 5. Just like any good fight, you're going to want to start by grabbing a piece of paper and a pencil. Now designate a player as the scorekeeper. Now each fighter takes one of these 5 identical player decks. Each player deck is comprised of cards numbered from 2 to 13, 2 of each, and a single star card, for a total of 25 cards. The only thing different about the decks is how they look. Give the fire deck to the person who most recently lit something on fire. The air deck goes to the person who can do the biggest kickflip. The water deck goes to the most hydrated person. The earth deck goes to the person who most recently touched grass. And the light deck goes to the person who has purchased the most light bulbs in their lifetime. If there's a dispute about any of these, or if someone hasn't been tracking the number of light bulbs they've bought over their lifetime, you can just choose a deck of your choice. Each fighter shuffles their player deck and sets it in front of them. This is a clash deck, not a player deck. Shuffle it at this time. Once the clash deck is good and shuffled, you'll want to deal out a number of stacks according to player count. Each stack should be made of 5 face-down cards from the clash deck. Feel free to consult the rules if you want to look at these setups any longer, but here's the layout for 2 players, 3 players, 4 players, and 5 players. If you're playing at any count below 5, there will be excess clash cards. Return these to the box. No peeking. Each of these stacks are a clash waiting to happen, and each player should have 5 clashes in front of them. For example, in a 5-player game, your layout should look like this. In this example, player 2 is going to be fighting over these 5 clashes, while player 5 will be fighting over these 5 clashes. No matter the player count, every player will be fighting over the center clash. Now that you've completed setup, it's time to start fighting! 5. Fight 5 is played in bouts, and each bout consists of 5 rounds. Here's how each round plays out. First, each player draws the top 5 cards from their player deck. Now flip the top card of each clash deck face up. Each player places 1 card from their hand face down beside each of their 5 clashes. If there's already a card next to a clash from a previous round, players simply place their new card on top. After placing a card at each clash, players should have no cards remaining in hand. If you played a card to each clash and still have a card in hand, you've messed up. Take a long look in the mirror and see if you're truly up for the fight. But then get back in there and realize that you just drew an extra card, or you didn't put a card on top of that card from last round, and you're all good. Now it's time to flip cards to see who wins each clash. This step is best completed one by one for maximum dramatic tension. To win a clash, your played card must meet or exceed the value of the clash card. Your played card must also exceed the other player's card that was played to this clash. If you win a clash, add all face-up cards from this clash to a face-down points pile somewhere near you. Make sure to not mix up your point pile with your deck. A tie can occur if no played card meets or exceeds the clash card, or if the highest cards played to the clash are the same number. In the case of a tie, no one gains the cards from that clash. Instead, they remain face up as a reward for the next player who wins that clash. Star cards are special. If there's only 1 star card present in a clash, the player who played it wins that clash. However, if more than 1 star card shows up, they're not worth anything. Star cards that show up in a clash pile are considered to have a value of 0. They can be beaten by anything but a star card. Once you've resolved all clashes, it's time to move on to the next round. Each player draws 5, flip any face-down clash cards, and get to clashing. If a clash already has a face-up card from last round, that remains the number to beat this round. This continues until you've completed 5 rounds, or in other words, when all player decks are empty. Once you've completed the bout, it's time to score your pile. Here's how scoring works. Each player gains 10 points for each star card in their point pile. They also gain 5 points for each number card with 2 digits. And finally, the player with the most overall cards in their pile gains 15 points. If there's a tie for overall card count, all tied players get 15 points. The game ends after 3 bouts, or after any bout in which at least 1 player has reached 200 points. At this time, whoever has the most points is the winner. If you have any questions about the rules, feel free to ask them in the comments below. Want to pick up a copy of the game? Check out the link in the description. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel for all things tutorials and gameplay. Thanks for watching!